amigos? So back with a video for you guys finally on my diet, brought to you from Atlanta, from the ATL. Next load going to Florida. Pays good. Curious on what I'm gonna get coming out though. Usually it doesn't pay good coming out of Florida. I mean, last couple times it wasn't too bad, so maybe it'll equal out, which with what I'm getting paid on this load that I'm going to take down there. If I get a load, say $1.20 coming out of Florida, it'll average out around $1.77, so I don't guess that's too bad. And for those of you that have kept up with my videos, I did talk to my dispatcher about the night dispatcher that told me it was my load, my money, so it was all up to me to take care of everything. That was on that 3-day layover. Pretty much said everything was on me. So I did talk to my dispatcher yesterday about that, and of course he got a good laugh out of it. He thought it was funny, and he said, I know who you're talking about. He said, the reason I'm laughing is, he said, because I got an email from that guy telling me that he had screwed up with another driver, a prime driver of 10 years. The guy's been here for over 10 years. And apparently the guy tried to use smoke and mirrors on him as well, just blowing smoke out his ass. Apparently that driver, he put that night dispatcher in his place, got pretty upset with him. So he emailed, that night dispatcher emailed my fleet manager over that Memorial Day weekend and said, man, before you come back and hear about this, I wanted to let you know, what happened. He said, I tried to keep the situation calm, but instead it ended up making things worse, and the driver got pretty upset with me, and I guess apparently apologized and kind of told him what had happened. But of course that driver still talked to my fleet manager, or our fleet manager, told him he wasn't too happy with the way that guy had handled things. So yeah, I that's why I almost didn't even talk to my fleet manager, because I thought, man, with that guy's attitude and the way the stuff he's spewing, I won't have to say anything, because there'll be other drivers that'll take care of it. But yeah, I was on the phone with my fleet manager talking to him about a different situation, and so I just went ahead and mentioned it to him. We talked for probably, I don't know, nearly 30 minutes. We got a pretty good relationship. Of course, my trainer that passed away on the truck, whenever I was on the truck with him, he had been underneath my fleet manager since dang near the beginning. My fleet manager was a company fleet manager, and so was my trainer. He was underneath him as a company driver. Whenever my fleet manager switched to lease, my trainer switched to lease and stayed with him, because he's a damn good fleet manager. My trainer actually had talked to the fleet manager before he passed away, and had kind of set up a meeting with me and had me on the team before he passed away. Unfortunately, he passed away though before I even got my first lease truck. Before I even got off his truck after driving with him for nearly a year. So, and I apologize if there's a lot of background noise. I got my truck running, APU's running, and the reefer's running. Yeah, my APU don't shut off automatically like most trucks do when I start it. So anyways, let's get to it. Talk about my diet. So my story behind it, I've mentioned this before. I was a brick mason before I came to Prime, and never really, I had gained weight because when I was younger, of course, my metabolism was high, and I stayed around 125, 130 pounds. Then once I got older, started gaining weight. But because of the work I did, I pretty well stayed around 194, didn't have much trouble with that. And I could eat nearly whatever I wanted to. Now, I still kind of watched what I ate. I tried to eat somewhat healthy. But I didn't really have to pay too close of attention, and I would hold my weight at 194. Now, I had tried other diets to see if I could get down past that, and every diet I tried, it felt more like I was starving. And I was able to get down to like 188, I think, at one time. But man, you know, like I said, it felt like I was starving all the time. It felt like I was hungry. And with this diet here, I don't feel that way. It didn't feel that way. I mean, I'm not doing the diet to lose weight now. I'm doing the diet to maintain my weight. I actually got back down to 194. So when I came to Prime, I was at 194. After being in Prime for a while and still continuing the habit of eating nearly whatever I wanted, eventually I got up to 206 pounds. 194 is a pushing it for me. So 206, that's too much, you know. Especially no more exercise and stuff that you get. That's the beautiful thing about this diet as well. The weight that I lost, I did it with nearly zero exercise. As a matter of the fact, the first few weeks I did no exercise. Later on, I started to, just to help maintain some of my muscle mass, not really to lose weight. It wasn't like I was doing cardio or anything. I was just doing basic exercises just to, again, maintain muscle mass. So yeah, come to Prime, weighed 194, ended up weighing 206, and I realized I needed to do something. But I knew I had tried other diets before, and like I said, in the end, I just felt like I was starving, because you have to nearly cut all your food out. You know, you narrow yourself down to like just a couple of small meals a day. You know, and it just was not working. I know you guys have heard of this diet. As a matter of fact, it's becoming pretty popular. And so I'll just go ahead and say it. It's the keto diet. Now, I kind of done my own little thing with it. You know, from what I read, to lose weight on the keto diet, you know, they put you, you know, you got to watch your carbs, and you need to try to maintain a small intake of carbs at like 40 to 50 carbs a day, which is correct. I listen to Joe Rogan a lot. I listen to his podcast. Joe Rogan had talked about doing an all-meat diet one time. Then he also had this guy named Jordan Peterson on his show, and I started watching a lot of Jordan Peterson's videos and stuff. Jordan Peterson and his wife and child, or daughter, they suffer from autoimmune system. Their daughter suffered real bad. They really thought at about the age of 30 she would probably die, because that's usually around a lot of times when they have it as bad as she had it. They really go downhill. She had it so bad that she had to have some surgeries, I think hip replacement or knee replacement, something like that, and she was on so many medications, she was literally only awake for like 30 minutes to an hour almost a day, maybe sometimes more or less, just depends, but she was always tired. So his daughter just started experimenting with her diet, and that's what she did. She cut her carbs way down, and she actually started weaning herself off of a lot of the medications. She felt better, had more energy, and then they actually, Jordan Peterson and his daughter, actually, they are on a zero carb diet, and they both said that they feel better than they've ever felt before. His daughter has made it past the age of 30, has married, has had a child, is off most of her medications, and he even said himself, suffering from a lot of his problems, he feels a lot better. He said one of the first things he noticed that he quit doing was snoring at night, and he started losing weight fairly rapidly. So, after hearing these kind of stories, I started to kind of, I'd already started reading on the keto diet a little bit. That's when I found out about the 40 to 50 carb diet. But after listening to Joe Rogan, Jordan Peterson, and his daughter, I thought, I'm going to go a little more extreme. I'm not going to go with the zero carb, but I'm going to go a little more extreme than the 40 or 50. So I actually cut mine down for the first few weeks down to about 20. I'll show you some of the foods, a few of the foods that I eat. But here's some of the key points to this diet. First thing you got to look at is that meat is zero carbs. Doesn't matter. Pork, beef, fish, diet. They eat chicken flavored with salt, nothing else. So all that's 0 carbs, and then they fry up pork fat to get some fat and calories in their body, because you got to have fat and calories. These stories you hear of like all fat's bad for you, calories are bad for you. No, it's more the carbs that's bad for you than it is the fat and calories. On this carb diet, on this keto diet, I didn't watch my calories or fat intake at all. All I watched was my carbs, and I lost a pound a week. Now, from what I've read and heard, a pound a week is pretty hard to lose. Matthew McConaughey, he actually, I don't know if you've seen that movie. Oh man, I can't even think of it right now. It's where he's a bull rider, and I think he gets 8. He loses a lot of weight in that movie, and it's right at the tip of my tongue, man. That movie's right at the tip of my tongue. But anyways, so he lost a lot of weight during that movie. He said that he lost that weight by starving himself and drinking as much wine as he wanted to. So he practically stayed drunk. He said he would eat, what was it? I think it was like he said he would eat like a fish dinner in the morning or something, or in the afternoon, and drink as much wine as he wanted to, and that's all he ate. And he lost a pound a week, and he said it was hard, very hard for him to lose that pound a week. But I've read that in other places too, that it's pretty tough to lose a pound a week, even with other diets and exercise. So I lost a pound a week only watching my carbs and still eating plenty of food. Didn't feel like I was starving. So yeah, that's your first thing to remember. All meats are 0 carbs until you add pepper. Pepper has carbs in it. Any kind of, like spices, most spices, because they're made like with peppers and stuff like that, it has carbs in it. That's the second thing you got to remember, is that most all vegetables and fruits have carbs in it. And also fruits are high in sugar. Which brings me to my next point. You have to stay away from the breads and the sugar. No breads, no sugar. No soda. And I don't care, you can say, oh, well, wheat bread's good for you. Look at the carb content. No breads. 0 breads. No sugars. No snacks. Even no fruits. I mean, this is only for 6 days a week that I'm telling you. That there's no bread and no fruits. In my diet, like I said, I was taking 20 carbs a day. On the 7th day, that's what I called my cheat day, I would have more of whatever I wanted. So if I wanted that candy bar, I'd eat that candy bar. If I wanted that snack cake, I'd eat that snack cake. Not both in one day, though. If I wanted a soda, I might take in a soda. On your cheat day, you can have pretty much whatever you want, but you don't just overdo it. You still have to do it in moderation. You know what I mean? Like, don't go overboard and take in 1,000 carbs. Still watch your carbs. Only take in like a few hundred carbs. Let me tell you something. A few hundred. You can watch your meals and do like salads and fruits, and you can still cut out your breads and still cut out your snack cakes. Don't eat any of that stuff. Eat healthy stuff. Eat like salads, fruits, and veggies. I mean, if you want a soda, drink a soda or a sweet tea. That's what I did. But I still would watch my carbs, my carb intake. So I would get to enjoy what I wanted to on that 7th day a little more, but I still limited myself on certain things. But I mostly took in like fruits and vegetables, because you still want that in your diet, in my opinion. You still want your fruits and vegetables. But the other 6 days, no breads, no sugars. 0 bread, 0 sugars. I ate a lot of like meat, or eggs. Eggs is very low carbs. And you can add a little bit of salt to your eggs, leave the pepper out, and you're maybe not even eat all of it, and you're still going to maintain a very low carb diet. Also, water, drinking lots of water. Or here's what I drink a lot of too, unsweet tea. Now, does it taste great? No, not necessarily, but I love tea, you know, so I had to make an exception, so I switched to no sweet tea. Now, you know, some people are like, well, sweeteners and this and that. You gotta watch sweeteners. A lot of them are made with chemicals and it's bad for you. I wouldn't recommend it. One thing I would recommend if you're okay with the sweetener taste is stevia. Stevia is made from the leaf, like the plant leaf, and it's not too bad. I mean, I use it sometimes from time to time, like on my coffee and stuff like that, and it's manageable. But I don't like the whole taste of the sweet, you know, like a sweetener taste. And even though that's all natural and it's known to help lower blood sugar and blood pressure, I believe, it still has that sweetener taste to it. And I'm just not real crazy about it, but I still use it. So yeah, waters you can get. I drink Nestle Splash flavored waters. They got 1 carb each in them. I think there's one that has 0 carbs, but the rest of them have 1 carb each in them. And I drink a bunch of those. So, you know, 1 carb each. If you drink 5 of those a day and then a couple of unsweet teas or whatever, that's only 5 carbs. You eat a 3-egg meal in the morning, that's going to hold you over for quite some time. You're talking another like 5 carbs or so. So right there's 10 carbs. And then eat you something else again like that later on in the afternoon. Or one of the things I ate was beef sticks. The Green Hatch chili beef sticks by Duke's. You could eat 2 of those, and it only has 1 carb in 2 of them. And you know, so you could eat 4 to 6 of those. That's only 3 carbs in 6, and it's gonna put something on your stomach. And you can do stuff like that, little things like that, eat little things like that all throughout the day, and you can maintain a 5 or a 20 carb diet fairly simple, maybe 30. So anyways, I lowered my carbs down to 20, lost a pound a week. Once I hit back down to 194, got back down to 194, I started upping my carbs. I'm probably now, you know, upwards of around 150 carbs a day. And I've been able to maintain my 194. I did gain a couple of pounds when I had that international, but now that I'm back on this truck, I'm able to watch what I'm eating, and I'm backing that off again. Alright, so I'm going to show you some of the things. I don't have everything that I eat here, like fish. I don't have any fish on here right now. We already ate the fish. And the chicken I'm going to show you is not the chicken I normally get, but it's all I could find at the Springfield Walmart. So, but I'm going to show you a few items that, you know, you can put in your arsenal for food. Some of these I just kind of use to make up little snack deals, and then, you know, others I make for meals. So, olives. Now, this ain't what I usually like to get. I usually like to get the sodium-free or the lowered sodium, lowered salt or whatever, because I don't like my olives real salty. But this is all Springfield had right now, except for they had a big jar of low sodium olives, but I didn't want that because it'd take up too much room in my fridge. But olives, 0 grams of carbs. Now I love these things right here. This one right here has 2 grams of carbs. It's Meat Lovers. It has multiple different types of meat in it. 2 grams. That means you could eat 5 of these and only get 10 grams. 5 of these would fill you up. Now, well, most people. I mean, I know that not everybody's the same, but you know, I couldn't sit down and eat 5 of these at once. And like I said, if you did, that's only 10 grams of carbs. So yeah, 2 grams of carbs in these little dudes. I keep my fridge stocked with these because these are great. 1 in the morning, and then maybe 1 in the evening before bed, or whatever, you know. So 2 grams of carbs on this. So, no bread. bread. You don't have to use bread with this. Take you some zero carb cheese. Most Sargentos is zero carbs. Other cheeses I've noticed are around 1 carb. Zero carb cheese. Take that. Wrap the cheese in you some meat. Maybe heat it up. Make you a hot turkey and cheese roll up. Don't use tortillas. Don't use bread. None of that. But this right here, 2 grams of carbs in 2 ounces, and there's 8 servings. 2 ounces is 8 servings. And you got 16 ounces in here. So, 2 ounces may not seem like a lot, but like I said, it's only 2 grams of carbs. So you could make you a couple of them roll-ups like I was talking about. And heck, throw some extra cheese in there. 0 grams on the cheese. You could probably find lower carb turkey or lower carb sandwich meat than this. But again, no bread. Don't use bread. You can get creative. Now, this is chicken. This is not the chicken I normally get. Now, this chicken here only has 1 gram of carb, pretty much per fillet. I know each fillet is a little different size, so it might be a little more than that, maybe a little less. But an average of about 1 gram of carbs per fillet. And the reason for that is because this is already pre-cooked, and it's got like a smoked flavoring and stuff in it. That's where you get that gram of carb at. Again, like I said, any kind of marinades or seasonings, you're going to add carbs to your stuff. So if you just got plain chicken and then just cooked it with salt, you're just talking about a 0 carb fillet. You can add pepper, but again, it's going to boost your carbs up to about 1 gram per chicken. Or marinade certain marinades will bump you up to around 2 grams, 2 to 3 grams per fillet, depending on what kind of marinade you use. But 1 gram of carb per fillet. You could eat 3 of these. That's 3 grams of carbs. That's filling. Eat 3 of these in the morning and eat 2 of these in the afternoon, and you've managed to see 3. And I said this was 2, so 2, 4, 7 grams in 3 fillets in 1 of these or 2 of these. That's it, man. So you're not going to starve on this diet. I usually add them olives with this and a little bit of cheese to make like a little snack. 0 grams. 0 grams of carbs for these. You can eat as many as these you want. You're not going to get any carbs. Again, that's what I like to do. I like to take these and take cheese and almost like do like you would with a cracker. Put your pepperoni, piece of cheese on it, and then put an olive on it. Make a bunch of those up and eat those for snacks. 0 grams, because the cheese, the olives, and this are all zeros, man. So you just leave the crackers out. Don't eat the crackers. So these are good to have. And then instead of potato chips, no, you don't want any potato chips. You want more stuff like this. 1 gram of carb per half ounce, and there's 10 half ounces in here. So 1 gram, so that means you could eat this whole bag and only get 10 grams. And what's nice is, this is actually less than 1 gram. Actually, both it says less than 1 gram. They got different flavors nowadays. You don't have to just get original. Salt and pepper, jalapeno. They got buffalo, hot. So yeah, and there's more out there that you can make some pretty good meals out of, and and maintain a very low carb diet. It's not that hard, and you're not going to starve, man. If you do it right, you're gonna stay full, and then get out and do some jumping jacks, get your metabolism going, and you're on your way to losing weight and feeling better, and at least keeping the weight off. Like I said, I'm back down to 194, and I'm fine with 194. I've been 194 for a long time. I get out, ride bikes with my kids. I go for a jog sometimes with my kids when I'm home and stuff. So I don't, I feel pretty good at that weight. And drive up my carb intake, and I actually eat a little more of what I want. You know, stuff with bread, sometimes snacks. And then, like I said, do that 6 days a week, really low carbs, 6 days a week. And then on that 7th day, have you a cheat day, eat some fruits, vegetables, stuff that you need, but keep it healthy and still watch your carbs. Don't take in 1,000 carbs on your cheat day. Otherwise, you're kind of defeating the purpose. But yeah, that's my diet. I heard another guy at Prime say in one of the live things on Friday that we have there at Prime, I heard him ask about, you know, getting more keto-friendly stuff on the menu at Prime. But the thing is, man, you can go in there and get you a meat lover's omelet. That's low carb, and it's big. I can't even finish a meat lover's omelet. It's big, man. So get you a meat lover's omelet. That's on the menu. Like, there's ways that you can watch your carbs. So yeah. I lost weight, man, with, like I said, nearly zero exercise. I didn't start exercising until I don't know, about the third or fourth week. But I, you know, lost that 12 pounds in about 12 weeks. It was during close to holidays, so there was, I think it was like Thanksgiving dinner. I ate too much, so it kind of set me back a little bit. Yeah, man, I lost those 12 pounds, and I feel better. You know, I could tell my energy level was really dropping out when I got up to 206. But yeah, you can do it, and you'll feel better. So if you're coming into trucking and you're fine with your weight right now, maintain you a decent carb diet, and you'll maintain that weight level. But if you come in here thinking that you're just gonna drive a truck and eat whatever you want, you could be regretting it. So, you know, don't do that. But anyways, this video's already too long. Appreciate you guys watching. Appreciate y'all's support. If you have any questions, put them in the comments below. I'll be glad to answer whatever I can.